Well, if you're watching my video when this came out, Merry Christmas. If that by any chance is something that offends you, well, I don't know what to tell you on that. I only know 2 holidays, Hanukkah and Christmas, around this time. So happy whatever you celebrate. And if you still take offense, well then, I don't know, go get a hobby. But speaking about being offended and things that might be irritable, I'm actually going to change up the video a little bit. And one of the reasons why is very loosely game related. But when you have a title called Pound Buttons, you can, it's kind of like pushing buttons too. So you can kind of get away with what you want to say on stuff. But yeah, so one of the things is I was following somebody on Twitter and I decided to discuss that a little bit about spoilers and what's a good time for it. So I kind of go through my thoughts and everything on how I feel about spoilers, and then I ask for comments about it at the end. So opinions on spoilers: 3 types of time frame / shows. Being a TV series, once a week release type TV series like Mandalorian, or there was a superhero show a while back called Heroes. If you're not familiar with that, you might have slightly be familiar with Heroes Reborn. I had Zachary Levi from Shazam in it, or Chuck. That was a good show. That one didn't do as well and didn't last as long. Heroes had a pretty good run though, before the reboot of Heroes Reborn. And then there is also where you can binge the show, like Stranger Things, for example, where it's just all released at once. And then movies, theatrical release movies, where you can, well, I shouldn't say you can, you have to find the time to go see it, especially if it's something you want to see really bad and you are worried about spoilers. And there actually is a 4th out there, where like Netflix had Bright, the Will Smith movie, which kind of had mixed reviews. I actually enjoyed it, but that one where you can fit it in more. And my thought processes on this video was to kind of get the comments of people and what your opinion is, which I'll kind of give my opinion at the end here as I go through a little thing on why I think the way I do. But an example would be is like Heroes. That show, and the reason why I pick on it is, it's got Milo in it. That guy's awesome. And my wife thinks so too, but probably for different reasons. This Is Us. She loves that show. But I was actually a season behind when friends of mine at work were talking about it all the time, and I knew I wanted to watch it. I was actually already recording season 2, knowing that season 1 was on Netflix. I believe it was Netflix. And so I ended up binging it. I thought it was great. I could binge it. I was so tired the next day after the first one. I was just going to watch an episode or 2, and the next thing you know, I'm just lights coming up. It was a mistake. But within 2 days, I got completely caught up, and it was great because having a weekly show like that, I really did enjoy that because it gave you time to speculate with your friends, talk about what could happen. Now, like with Stranger Things, I know if you binged all that, you could do the same thing at the end of the season, like what's going to happen next season, things like that. And Walking Dead's a good example. I'm already, our family watches that. We're talking about what's going to happen next, things like that. But it's still great to be able to talk about it in between seasons, especially with coworkers, things like that. Binging, I'm not completely against it, but I would prefer the week by week, even though it almost seems torturous waiting for the next episode. Like I can't wait to see the episode 8 of Mandalorian. And The Witcher, that one I binged all the way through it. I actually think I might have enjoyed that more if I had to wait for each one. I don't want to give any spoilers away on it, and I said I wouldn't, so I'm not going to. But The Witcher was really good. As you can see, the mess around me and everything. I put that on just to have something going while I clean the basement. I knew nothing about it, expected nothing about it, never played any of the games. I know the game has a good following behind it, and I've been curious to play it, but I haven't. I have such a huge backlog of games, it's ridiculous. After watching The Witcher, I think The Witcher is going to bump up in my backlog, but one of the nice things about it was I was able to just turn it on, start watching it, and the downside is well, none of this did get cleaned up because I actually really got into it, and it's really good. The downfall is, though, and actually, once again, I'm not going to give anything away with The Witcher, but The Witcher, I feel like I need to watch it again. I missed a couple things because I was cleaning at first, and that show really is, I really enjoyed that show. You need to pay attention to it. When you're watching that show, you do need to pay attention to it. But when someone I follow on Twitter mentioned that they were going to unblock, she was going to block people or unfollow them and stuff if they were putting Witcher spoilers up, because she was only a few episodes in. I kind of got it. I understood it. It drives me nuts. Like with I'm going to go see Rise of Skywalker today, actually, and I've been avoiding things. I'll admit, this trilogy I have not been super excited about. I haven't had the hate for it a lot of people have had. I've enjoyed it. I don't go in with some of the thoughts people do. It takes quite a bit to offend me, actually, in both directions, actually. So I think I tend to enjoy things a little bit more than others do, and I like that. But the thumbnails I've seen on YouTube already, I mean, within hours of its release, there was stuff. Even with, what was it, Last Jedi. Last Jedi, it was, I don't even think it was 24 hours, and there was, in my Google feed, actually, on my phone, there was a spoiler right in the title, and I was so pissed off because I hadn't seen it yet. And it wasn't that I was dragging my feet to go see it, it was just, I don't go by myself, I go with my family and stuff. We have to find time to do it. We all work and everything. Or school. I have both school and work, so and the YouTube videos. But yeah, so that kind of pissed me off. And it's the same thing again. There's so many thumbnails out there with stuff on it, and I have seen some Witcher stuff, and it's actually I can see where someone would get upset on it. So basically, what I'm hoping to do is get people's opinions on it. I would really like to know what's your opinion on it. When we used to watch Heroes back in the day, basically the unspoken rule, and it might have been spoken, I can't remember, but if you were 2 episodes behind, yeah, it was fair game at that point, because we wanted to discuss what was going to happen. And 14 days. I mean, it was a weekly show, so that's 14 days. So at that point, I mean, it was fair game at that point. And I fell to that rule a few times, and I knew it, and I just made sure I watched the shows. Probably not the best prioritization as shows over other things, but it kept things going. But even still, actually, it was a decent prioritization, because I got to talk to my friends. We got to discuss things. Where with binge watching, you discuss it, but there is no, oh my god, what's going to happen next kind of thing, like with The Walking Dead, Mandalorian, Heroes back in the day, Knight Rider, the reboot of Knight Rider. I don't care what anyone says. I'll admit, started out a little weak, a little cheesy. Right when they canceled it, that thing was going to get good. And then they canceled it. But, I'd like to know what your opinion is. I mean, my opinion, a movie, easily a month before there should be any, before you put anything out there that doesn't say spoiler in the title. Even then, maybe you should still put it out there, but doesn't have to be in there. Anything before that, it should say spoiler in there. Let people know. Let them enjoy the movie. Something that's bingeable. I'm going to still say a month. I could even go almost 2 months. I mean, it's hard to fit that in. Some people, they just have more time, or they schedule things better, and they can get that knocked out in no time. For me, it took the first season of Stranger Things, it took me almost 3 months to get that all in. It was just a busy time in my life. I mean, a weekly show, I'm going to stick with 14 days, 2 weeks. It's a lot easier with streaming and recording. I mean, nobody's watching it live nowadays. Well, I shouldn't say nobody, but most people aren't. That one, I still like the 14-day rule on that one. That one's pretty safe. I always try to respect that anyways. I try to respect anybody who hasn't seen it, try to keep them out of it. It's horrible when you're at work and you can hear people talking, you haven't seen it yet, and I don't want to stop them. They're not purposely trying to spoil it, so I just try to put my earbuds in or something and crank some music. But, yeah. I'd really like to know your opinion on it. Put in the comments below. Get some other people involved. I'd really like to know what other people have for opinions on it, because I know there are some strong opinions on it both ways. I've actually had someone, I made a comment about this once in person, and someone kind of gave me a hard time going, no, you should have seen it. And then I called them an ass. They're a friend. They're still an ass for that opinion, though. Yeah, so my opinion, if you're throwing things up right away, yeah, you're an ass. That's my opinion. Hopefully maybe that fires someone up to make a comment about it. But otherwise, I hope you have a good holiday season. Enjoy your time. Play some video games. Do what you like to do. Have a good one. Thanks.